Hi all. It's been a few days since I've had the chance to record anything. And to be honest, I don't think I've got much time at the moment either, but I thought I'd try and get started anyway. At least with a couple of things I wanted to talk about. Now, a couple of the most recent comments, both from John Brown and from Martin, thinking that, if you recall, when I made this attack and this unit retreated into here, got dispersed, I made the attack into here, advanced into there, and initially I made a second advance into this hex here, and then realised that there was a detachment in there from this unit retreating. Now I looked at the rules and wondered about the fact that should that leave a detachment when it's retreating, but there's nothing to say. But both John and Martin felt that maybe this wasn't the intention, that detachments couldn't be left. John felt more strong about it than Martin, to be honest. He felt like that definitely shouldn't be. Martin sort of said, well, I've opened another case that needs to be answered to. So I'm not awful sure what to do with this one. Looks like the guys feel that it'd be okay for me to advance this unit into this town. Hopefully Martin will maybe ask a question to John Butterfield, but he generally waits till there's maybe a few questions to ask, to see if we can get an official clarification on that. I'm not sure. I'm going to leave it sitting just now until I need to make the decision if I'm going to say it's okay to do it or not. So I'll just leave it sitting there at the moment, kind of hoping that maybe Martin has asked the question and maybe comes back with some clarification before I actually make the move. There was a couple other little things. Hang on. Yeah, this down here. I was going to leave a comment at the beginning of the last video. You know, how many times did I move these units and put them back and then move them again? Because the whole issues with this town. Now I think it was. Right, hang on a sec. Wait till I get this right. Yeah, I think it was the fact that I crossed into here with this unit, and then once I moved them there, Ally Supply was traceable to the town and whatever. And then I moved them round, and I thought, right there, well, he's actually closing supply off as well. However, this Ally Supply is traceable to this town here, I believe, because we got the confirmation that you could trace across. Now, this is a German bridge, but you could trace across it as an unbridged river. So if it was an Allied unit, like this is how you consider tracing supply. Let's say there's an Allied unit in there. Is it supply traceable? One over the unbridged river into this hex, and you can trace through detachments, remember. So he's then on this road, then he can go up here. I need to zoom out a bit just to show you the bigger picture. So into there for one, and then he's on a road that's actually, because this is an Allied bridge still, then you can go through that detachment into St Hubert and then away. So in actual fact, even there, this hex, Allied Supply is traceable. But he then ends up here in the final hex. Now I say he can't trace into there. Well, he can't, because then Allied Supply is traceable from the town down this way. So, but if he stays there, they can't trace Allied Supply across this unbridged river, because into this hex is now zone of control by that German unit. So I think I said at the time that it was okay for him to even be here or here. Well, that wouldn't have been the case, but where he actually ended up was good, I believe. Because of that whole, like I say, you can trace into there, but then he's on that road that he can't then trace through this hex. So there was that. Now there's one other thing I was going to leave a comment, and I didn't bother in the end because I don't think it ended up mattering. I can't remember what it was. I'm sure it'll come back to me. It was something I was going to mention that I talked about wrongly, I think, but didn't end up doing anything wrong. I think it was one of them. So I was going to leave a comment saying, okay, this shouldn't have happened. This wasn't possible, but I didn't end up doing it anyway. Something like that. I'm sure it will come back to me. Okay, Right, let's see if we can move on with an allied impulse then. Okay, I'm pretty sure we have to do the third core now before there's any other nonsense here. Like I say, I can activate both them stacks and get around to this infantry unit, have an attack at it. Now, the question was whether I involve these guys with a nice, I mean, it's a good chunk of, I think it's another 11 strength in there. Whether I involve them in a reinforced battle. My reinforced battle card is the core card for 12 core. I've got 3 reserve units in the from 12 core in the reserve units box, but I do have the division card to bring them into play. But obviously, it'd be nice to have had the division card to bring them in play, and then this card to activate the whole core and maybe move them about. So, and that's my only option for reinforced battle. So, I'm still not 100% sure. I think when I worked out the odds, though, I was getting 71 odds. I'd be getting a load of chip pools. It'd be a really good chance of taking this unit out, or certainly doing it some damage. I mean, yeah, it's not that important, but we know we've got the 47 core card to come, and that unit's going to activate. So if it was eliminated before they got the chance, not really sure it would do very much, mind you. But okay, let me just ponder a few more seconds. Okay, yeah, going to do this then. So, going to play the third core card, activate the third core. Now, when I activate them, this detachment will go away. Been looking at, got right through the rules for the German solo side of Enemy Action Kharkov, and there's quite a few interesting wee changes. Like, I mean, the base principle of everything is still very similar, but there's some nice changes to things that are going to spice things up a bit. This one about, I mean, it's not detachments they have, it's garrisons, and I spoke about this before, and I know I spoke about this and suggested that there was a talk about if we were talking about these units, were these units proximate to anything? And because they're adjacent to a detachment, they couldn't be because they can't move around that detachment. But within the Kharkov rules, when you're adjacent to a garrison, and you were checking for proximity, you would only check, you don't check if a detachment is adjacent to the unit. So you treat that hex as if that garrison wasn't there when you're checking for proximity. And not just for proximity, it's for, is it for supply and whatever as well, or whatever it is. But it's as if to say that you wouldn't consider this detachment in there, because I mean, if I was considering these units proximate in the minute, then this would stop it. But you see, I've just activated these units, and this detachment's come away, and that's what happens if you activate a unit adjacent to a detachment, or if you activate a unit adjacent to garrison within Kharkov. So I think that's why that's been brought in, and there was a bit of a grey area about whether that proximate would be, would that be proximate to this hex because that detachment's in the way. Well, I kind of think these rules should have been that if the detachment was adjacent to the unit, then you wouldn't consider it. So I think that's maybe how it's meant to be, but whether any of that will come to light or not. But anyway, yeah, some quite interesting rules, and quite a few things that happen that are different. If I think of any of them while I'm doing things, I'll maybe mention them. But okay, so that's a detachment remove. That's that. So I think it's just a case of getting the infantry into here and then the armour into here, isn't it? I don't think we can do anything. I can't get round the back, I don't think. No, I can't get around the back, so I'm just going to move these guys 1, 2 into here, and then move this whole stack just into here, I think. So, and then well, the only other unit, I've got the cavalry down in R1, but he's pretty much staying there. He's not going to move. So we do have a few, 2 or 3 units round about there. So yeah, and we're going to attack this infantry. So we've got, at the minute, we've got, that one got reduced. I had to go back and find out. It was when they made the attack. I think it was when we eliminated that 58 core unit. So we've got 8 in there. And I think it's 10 in here. Yeah, these are elite armoured units as well, so that's good. So, at the moment we'd have 18 to 4. So we're sitting at 41 odds, just like that. And the chip pools are pretty good as well. Okay, we've got 1 bracket unit in there, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then 1 for elite 6. So we're missing that magical 7th jet. So, but, I mean, it's more than likely I would be using this for the core artillery, because I've still got a couple of cards on my deck, so I'm shuffling again. So that would give me the 7th chip pool, 41 odds, 7 chip pools with artillery in the battle. It's pretty good. So there's that, or I play the reinforced battle, adding another 11, like I said. So 11 and what did I say, 18, so that's 29 to 4, which is now 71, isn't it? Yeah, so that would knock that up to 71. We'd get an extra 3 chip pools. In fact, we'd get an extra 4 chip pools because of the reinforced battle as well. So that would take the chip pools up to 11. Assuming I play the artillery as well. I could hold off on the artillery, I suppose. And that would just be 10 chip pools, but 71 odds or 41 odds for the use of that other card. Yeah, I just don't know. Let me think about where these 12 core units what they would get up to. Okay, this is quite interesting. This is the 3 infantry units we've got from the 80th Division. Which, like I say, we've got the division card to deploy them. Now, it's where they're going to get deployed. Now, there is a 12 core unit in there, but the boundary line's here, so we can't get within 3 of that and be in the boundary. So we've got a 12 core unit here. Oops. And again, I can't get within 3 of him. There's 1, 2, 3. I mean, okay, I only need to be 2 away if I'm... Is it a map edge? Yeah, it's got to be the map edge though. So I only need to be 2 away, but I need to be on a road, so it needs to be 3 away from that. 1, 2, 3, that's not any good. It's still only just 2, it's only 2 away from German units. And the other ones are in here, so like I'm not going to be able to trace supply in there. So I don't think I can deploy them within 3 of a unit in the same corps, which then means I've got to move on to deploying them within 3 of a unit in the same army. Now that makes it more interesting, because I've got the cavalry unit down in R1. I could easily deploy them 1, 2, 3 along here. So, you know, it's just stuff. I could actually deploy them here. And they only need to be 2 away from a German unit. They're 3 away anyway, within 3. And that'd be a nicer place to have them, because I kind of want to get something up here. I don't want these guys to keep trekking on there. So that does start me thinking that if I was able to get them deployed in there with a division card, and then, I mean, admittedly, I'm not going to be able to strategically move them, but yeah, they're not going to get very far at all, are they? Okay, I've decided I'm going to go with this. I'm going to reinforce the battle. Some of these decisions are tough choices, actually. So what did I say? An extra 11. So 29 to 4. So yeah, that knocks the odds up to 7-1. Now, I think I will also play the artillery. Because again, it is going to get shuffled in. Probably going to draw it. Yeah, there's only going to be 3 cards left in my deck, and I'm going to have 4 cards in my hand. So I'm actually going to draw it back into my hand. So it makes sense just to play it. Yeah, I think it does. Yeah. So, right. So chip pools are. Well, I've got 3, 6, 9 units. 8 of which supply a chip pool because there's 1 bracket unit. So that's 8. 1 for elite's 9. 2 for the 2 combat tactics is 11 chip pools. So maximum 11. And minimum of 2. He's got an IP actually. Do we have engineers? No, I don't have combat engineers anyway, even if I wanted to. But I think that's more than enough to like go for that unit. I mean, the fact he's got an IP, okay, that soaks up 1 more hit, right enough. Right. Okay, so now let's see what the Germans get now. Could they get an undetected defender? No, I don't think they could. Well, there is a 5th Panzer Army unit, so I think, is it not going to matter? Oh, I can't remember. You know what, we'll just draw the card anyway. See what we get. Right, so 2nd SS. That's assault coordination as well. Well, I was going to shuffle back in as well though, so that does nothing for them. So what I'll do is I'll just shuffle this back in, because they are playing it for a combat tactic. And it shuffles back into the deck, so that was good. Man will be shaking his head again. Okay, so now we've got to determine, well, we're going to draw 2 chits minimum. So we'll get them first, and then it's probably going to be a tough decision to decide how many we draw, but let's get the 2 first. A good starter, but Wood's broken chit for it to give a D-1, so that's back at 0 again. Okay, how many? I'll clearly definitely go into 7. Well, that's only 5 more. Maybe go to 9? Because he's got an IP as well, so we need... What is it? You need D5, don't you? 1 for the IP, and then retreat, step loss, yeah. So I need D5, and I'm sitting with D0 at the minute, so... Or should we go nuts and go all 11? Yeah, I'm going to go for this. I'm going to go all 11. We've got combined arms, we've got armour. He's in a broken hex, which sometimes doesn't work for him. I know it's worked there. He does have a defender adjacent. He does have an IP, so... Yeah. We've got artillery though as well, so... And the odds, 71. Yeah, I'm going to go all in here. Get all 11. Oh, well. That was like... I drew this chit quite early on. I was like, oh, it's 1 short. And look, I got a 91 as well. An 8-1 and a 91. We're sitting at 71. The back of these didn't apply. They were less than 3-1, 4-1. Got 2 flank attacks though, which we are flanking. Fortunately, he's got a defender adjacent. There's a broken one with a D1, but an A1 as well. Another broken one with just a D1, and then attacker elite to finish, giving us a nice wee 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, -1 is 5, D5, just what we needed. Unfortunately 2 hits to us, but yeah, a good result. No artillery there. Wee bit disappointing to end up with A2, but maybe I'm being greedy. Okay, going to tidy things up. This is going to shuffle back in. To be honest, I think I can just place it in because I'm drawing all 3 cards. This unit's in St Hubert, but I'll sort him out. I better just leave him there a second. Okay, so shuffled up my draw pile. Like I say, I think I'm drawing all the 3 cards anyway. That reinforced battle's going away. Where are we going? muddled up here. Right, give me a sec. So yeah, 5 hits to him, 2 to us. First the IP goes away, and then, well, like I say, we've got that magical number of retreat, step loss, which is going to take him out. So that was perfect. So another 47 core unit in the eliminated units. Well, we've got 2 of them out now. Right, 2 hits to ourselves though. Okay. Okay, we're going to take 1 on the infantry again. I was just looking at the armoured units that we brought in with the reinforced battle. They both reduce from a 4 to a 2. Whereas this guy reduces from a 4 to a 3, or the other ones are a 3 to a 2, but they're a kind of stronger core at the moment. I know I've got 2 reduced infantry units there again, but so 4 to a 2, so do I take that 4 to a 2 as well? It is, yeah. Do I take the 8 core unit or the 12 core unit? Well, I do know I've still got the 8 core card to come. What was I going to do with that? Oh yeah, surround that unit. Yeah. Probably means I'm going to move them. Yeah, I think I'm going to take it in the 8 core unit. Yeah, okay. Right, that's my 2 hits satisfied. So now possible advance after combat. Okay. Okay, I think I'll just advance infantry actually. Because to get a 2x advance, I would get them in there, but then I would have to. I couldn't move them from there to there. There's no path of retreat, so I would have to move them up there for my second hex, which isn't really getting anywhere where I want to be. At least I've got the infantry in there. I've got the 2 stacks adjacent to this, and we could possibly have a go at that if we felt the need. Yeah. Okay. Right, I think that's it. Now there's only the cavalry unit was the only unit left that didn't do anything from 3rd Corps, but he's on R1, so can't build an IP, so that is going to be our impulse over. So yeah, good result. Let's say I would have liked to have just taken 1 hit there, but we can't have everything, can we? We can't draw all the cards that we want at the right time. and also the combat chits too. That would be right. Okay. So I've got 4 cards in my hand. My hand size is 7, so I'm going to draw all these 3 cards. So yeah, we've got this back obviously, and yeah, we knew we were talking about 8 core, but ooh. Okay, we've got the British supplemental card. Not sure we assault coordination though. Yeah, I'm not awful sure that we've got a great use for that, because we can't really move the units apart from that 1 that's in Dinon. But assault coordination? Don't know if we might be able to find something like moving this unit. Could he go 1, 2? No, he can't, can he? 1. Oh, he can't get in the battle. That's annoying. Right, if we could have got him, if we were activate 8 core, and got him adjacent here, somehow. I can't though. And then assault coordinated with him. Right, anyway, okay. Well, we can think about that. Right, I'm going to take a quick pause there before start another German impulse, guys, okay? Cheers. Hi all. Right, just before the German impulse, I remembered the other thing I wanted to mention. When this unit, now he was on his full strength side because he took a hit. When we were determining attack determination against this was 4 against 4 reduced to 3, so 4 against 3. So the odds were 1 to 1, and when I rolled the dice, I gave a -1 because in the support card box we had at the time, we had this card, and it was Combat Engineers, which was an applicable combat tactic, but this shouldn't have been in the support card box because this is the bit that I forgot about the fuel. So this actually shouldn't have been applicable as a -1 modifier. So fortunately, when we rolled the dice, we rolled a 1. We rolled a 1, which reduced to a 0 because of the -1, but obviously that -1 wouldn't have been there, so it would have been a 1, which would have been cancelled if only Defender Elite or only Defender Armour. Well, this guy was armoured and this guy was armoured, so it still would have been ahead with a 1. So I was going to make another wee comment about that, but I figured, did it really matter? I mean, we still went ahead with attack, and unfortunately that guy took a hit himself. So yeah, that was the other thing. Okay, let's get a German impulse. Okay, let's see what's happening. 58th. Oh, and 47th. Ooh. Okay, so the 47th, both primary cards, but 47th's the 3 command value. 58th's only a 2. So, yeah. Well, we're going to see what's going to happen here. No event on this card. It's got the reinforced battle combat tactic, and obviously both of these, this would, if we are using it, it's going to shuffle in. So that's going to sit there just now, and we're going to activate all units in the 47th. So nice timing, we're getting rid of that other unit. It was one less unit that we would have done something with. I mean, I'm not so sure they would have done an awful lot with it, but however, it's one less unit for them. Okay, so what do we have? Well, we've got an infantry down here. Now remember, we've eliminated 2 of their units now. One of the Wehr units, one in the 26th Division. So that's an R26th Division. So there's the 2 infantry units there and there. The 2 Wehr units that are left, Führer Brigade, this unit that's on his own, and a 2nd Panzer unit. And this other 2nd Panzer unit. Now, where's the 3rd 2nd Panzer unit? There, it's there. Just outside Houghton. So that's all the units to consider. There's none in the reserves. So I'm going to activate them. There's no roadblocks adjacent. Their army objective marker is Dinon, so they need to reach that. So let's see what they're going to get up to. Okay, well, nothing can get adjacent to the Muse. I had a look, and yeah, they're still just not able to do it. We've shut everything off for that, which is good. Actually, hang on, I'm skipping by, because I'm skipping by method 2. Right, I'll look at that first then before I talk about this interesting little thing up the top here. Yeah, okay, I remember talking about, these 4 units are adjacent to Havelange, and it's got that number 5 strength, and I know I talked about gamey situations with it, but let's not bother going through all that again. So they're not going to move away from that because it's only got 5 strength, which means they will consider an attack on it though, so there is that. The Führer Brigade is the one to consider first. Now, he's wanting to move, that's close to his army objective, adjacent to Dinon, obviously. He can't move into that hex because it's zone of control. Actually, no, he's stuck, isn't he? We've still got him in trouble there, haven't we? Didn't realise that. No, he can't move directly in because he's moving out of zone of control. And that'd be 4 movement into there for him. And he wouldn't be able to get in there. So no, he can't actually do that. Okay, cool. See, I knew what I was doing. Okay, these Wehr units, however, there's 2 of them. They will move Uh, Now they can't go 3 because that's 6. It would be 6 movement and get straight into there, but they can come around 1, 2, 3 into Celis and stop there. So I think the first one's going to activate and do that. So move to hex with closer to units, army objective, and adjacent to an allied VP hex. Like I say, moving adjacent to Havilonge isn't any good to them because it's not near their objective. So 1, 2, 3, and then taking Celis. For the 4th movement, puts them adjacent to Dinon when they're only 1 hex away from the army objective, leaving a detachment here. And I think his buddy's going to do the same, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, so he's going to do the same. Fortunately, only 5 strength, so they're not going to be able to have a go at Dinon. They are, however, in a position where if we leave that situation as it is, they activate again, they can go 1, 2, they can make the special move to get adjacent to the Muse, so we're going to have to consider what to do about that. And I'm actually not sure what to do about that. Can this unit move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 1, 2, breaking zone of control, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he could do that because he's allowed to move anywhere, that guy. That's moving him out of Dinon, but... Right, anyway, that's for a future turn, Grant. Okay, so that's movement method 2. I don't think there's any others that can... Oh, hang on, what about this infantry? I'll tell you, I'll go and show you what I was looking at the infantry. Yeah, I'm thinking he may actually know his breaking zone of control, so no, he can't get up to Havilonge. But here's where I thought I might have to make a decision about if this 3rd armour unit is here or is he in this town. Because if he's in that town, I had to go and check this. This unit's out of fuel. I think it's a 2nd SS unit. Oh, it's 1st SS, okay. He's out of fuel, but he still exerts his zone of control. So looking at movement method 3 cause surround, this unit can go 1, 2 breaking zone of control and then 3 into there. And if this armoured unit was here, which we've not made a decision on what we want to do about it, then it would surround them. And I don't believe that would be breaking any restrictions. This isn't a VP town, is it? Marche, no. So there's nothing to stop him from moving away. Oh, he's armoured. What are you talking about, Grant? I'm thinking he's infantry. That still works, doesn't it? Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so that could still happen. So, yeah. It looks like that unit wants to make that move if that unit was there to surround it. So I'm going to have to make a decision now about if I put him in there or not. And I don't know what to do, because, although the two guys, although John and Martin seem to feel that it's okay for me to take that town, there's nothing really in the rules that doesn't say it wouldn't leave a detachment in the town, so I'm not sure what to do with this one. Okay, I've kind of just got to make a judgment call here. So I'm going to go with what the guys say, and reason being is, well, they're both sort of suggesting that we shouldn't be policing that detachment. So it's not just one person, it's two, and I've got my doubts myself. But the rule in 15.1 does say, beginning December 17th, each and every time a German unit moves or advances out of a hex. So there's the words, moves or advances. I mean, we know what advance is, advance after combat. Any kind of movement. You know, as retreat is a movement though of sorts, isn't it? Yeah, I'm going to go with the fact that retreat is a different thing. It's not under movement, and it's definitely not under advance. So this unit wasn't moving or advancing. He was retreating, and that suggests that there shouldn't have been a detachment place. Obviously, we'd like to have that confirmed. So hopefully Martin can pass that across to John at some point and find out for sure. So we are going to say that this unit moved. I mean, part of this is going to be kind of bad for us in a way as well, because this unit is going to come up. So I figure that there's a bit of bad in it, but we're not going to have a German control marker there though. So he would have double advanced, 2 hex advanced into that town, because there wasn't a detachment left. So going to go with that. Hopefully it's right, but hopefully it will bring up a confirmation some way down the line. Okay, so it does make me feel like this unit can move into here, surrounding this armoured unit now. So I think I'm going to go with that. Now he'd go 1, 2, breaking zone of control. I mean, he could go 1, 2, 3, 4, breaking zone of control, and then 5 into there, but he's going to go through that detachment, that whole value hex, leaving, he's going to lose his IP, but moving through that hex gets him to leave in detachment there. So now we've got this unit surrounded. Like I say, out of fuel, it doesn't say they can't move or attack, but they still exert a zone of control, I believe, anyway. Yeah, he can't move or attack or do anything much else, but he does exert a zone of control, so that does mean that this guy's now surrounded in that town. Okay, so where are we at now? Movement methods. Okay, I think there's possible. I just moved on to movement method 4, which is open supply line. Started thinking, well, let's have a look here, but I think these units, I think the Fuhrer Brigade's not able to trace supply at the minute. Not that I'm sure I can help it out, but well, he might be able to move himself, because for him to trace supply, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you can trace it into this road here. Can't go down that way. He can go that way, but he goes into there and then we're stuck. Yeah. There is problems there, I think. Well, this unit could go 1, 2, 3. He's the same. These two guys, however, can go 1, 2, 3, 4. I think if I get into Houghton's okay. Yeah, Houghton's okay. So what did I say? That means these 3 are okay. 1, 2, 4. Yeah, these 3 are okay, but these 2 are not, and I don't think these 2 will be. I moved them down there, but there's no restriction, I believe, to move them into a place where they wouldn't trace supplies or. No, there's nothing to. So now, okay, would the Fuhrer Brigade maybe back up then? The thing is, all these 4 units round Havelange are restricted to staying around Havelange. So it's not as if any of them could back up to try and create a supply line. And I don't think the Fuhrer Brigade can. All he can do is, it's 4 movement for him to get into there. So that's as far as he can retreat. And it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's not any better for him, is it? No, it still doesn't bring him to trade supply. I think they're just going to have to suffer with it. No other units, this infantry unit down here, but I don't think he can help with that. No. He's kind of too far away to get involved. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like there's an open supply line option for any of them. So movement method 5 tonight, it's infantry moves. So we've got this guy here, but like I said about this guy, he can't move away from there unless he can reach another hex adjacent. But this is only hex and they can't get away around there. So and I don't think he would want to anyway. Yeah, just looking at the first movement method 5 there. Move active infantry units each to a hex adjacent to an allied VP hex. A unit starting adjacent to an allied VP hex moves adjacent to another VP hex only if closer to the unit's army objective and allowed by German movement method restriction 9.21a. So that does stop him because he would actually have the movement to go 1, 2, 3, getting closer to his army objective, adjacent to VP hex and Dino. But he's breaking the restriction by moving away from the 5 strength and in the Avalanche, which is a VPX by itself. So, yeah, there's no real point me pointing that out to you, but I'm just looking through them and realising that's what's what. However, the guy down in the south here, hang on. Yeah, this guy here might well move adjacent to St Hubert because it's just yeah, well, he wants to move active infantry units each to a hex adjacent to an allied VP hex. It doesn't need to be getting closer or anything. No. Yeah, I think the only hex he can go, well, that's not true, 1, 2, he could go in here or here. That's it, isn't it? Yeah, so this hex or this hex. And, well, as for tactical adjusting, they're both empty hexes, so that's not going to come into it. So the tiebreakers are nearest the army objective. Well, in actual fact, that's going to be nearest his army objective because it's further up. So I think he's going to move into there, adjacent to St Hubert, with movement method 5. Okay. And the other infantry unit is going to be marked with movement method 7, movement considered complete, because he's the only infantry unit adjacent to both they two and that as well. So his movement is considered complete. So that's the 2 infantry units. So just got the other armoured units to I think the only one that's going to do innings. No, in fact, I don't know if the Fuhrer Brigade can do anything. Right, so on to move methods 10 to 13. So moving with arrows. No, he can't go that way. When he can't go that way because he's moving from zone of control to zone of control. So can't move via his arrows. Well, actually, he's not the first one. Sorry, that's unit 3 here, isn't it? But yeah, he's nothing he can do because he's just going to stay there. I mean, they might have a go at Avalanche, fair enough. Yeah. Infiltrate. Hang on. Right, well, I've looked at Unit 3. He's going to stay put. Let's see if the Fuhrer Brigade can do anything then. Can he get closer to his army objective? Well, no, because already he would move the adjacent to Dinon if he could, and that's the only hex. Well, the only way of getting closer to his army objective is move adjacent to Dinon. Sorry, I'm a wee bit off camera there. Sorry, forgot I floated down. Did I talk it in? Yeah, okay. Well, I was talking about unit. This is unit 3, but he's restricted. He can't move. So unit 7, the Fuhrer Brigade. No, because he's moving through the woods. He can't get closer to his army objective. He's already adjacent to an allied unit. He's not. He can't move. He's staying put. So the only other one I was considering was these two guys. We've got selector number 21 and 32. Could one of them infiltrate? Possibly. Again, they've got to stay adjacent to Havelange because of the restriction. Right. It's been a while since we've done the infiltrate, so let's have a look. One non-bracketed unit only is eligible for this move if in supply, yes, and stacked with at least one other active non-bracketed unit that is not yet moved, yes. If these requirements are met, the unit moves one hex to a hex closer to, not the same distance from the unit's army objective, regardless of allied zone control. Mechanised unit may not infiltrate across the river or into a forest. It's a broken hex, isn't it? Upon completion of this move, all active units in the hex from which the move began are considered to have moved. Movement by this method is allowed to only one unit per activation. So I think he'd be allowed to do that actually. Because, now hold on here. I'm sure Martin brought up something about moving. I'm just thinking about the tactical adjustments. This came up before, did it not? Because tactically adjusting, would they prefer being in that hex or that hex? I don't think it matters. It's not an empty hex. He can't get to an empty hex. He's already in a hex with 2. So, yeah, I think that guy can infiltrate into that hex, getting him one hex closer to his army objective. He's done the infiltration move. Means this unit's considered to have moved as well. He ignores the zone of control. He's still adjacent to Havelange, so he's not broke the restriction. Doesn't make an awful lot of odds, but it's moving him one hex closer to his army objective, which is what they're all about. I think that's okay. I'm just trying to. There's something in my mind about. No, it's not. It's something else, isn't it? It's about the least amount of units in a hex, but that's not part of the tactical adjustments, is it? It's just unoccupied or across not cross river hex. So that must have been something else I'm thinking about. Possibly not even from the Allied soul, or maybe the German soul. Okay, right, I think that's right. So these two units are the only two that can't really make a move, I don't think. So let's look at attack determinations then. No reserve units. Combat tactics, reinforced battle. Okay, I suppose there's 2 or 3 to have a look at, so let's try and do this properly. So this would be the first consideration unit, selector number 3. So he's the lead unit. He could consider here or here. He's going to get... That's more than likely going to be here. Well, maybe not. Havelange has got 5 strength, okay? So it'd be 4, 5. Oops. There's another 6 there, admittedly. 4, 5, so that's 11 against 5. They're going to get a +1 though for being adjacent to a supplied unit, an allied supplied unit. They're in a town, it's in the woods I think, isn't it? It's not a forest that, is it? Don't think so. Oh. So that's 11 against 6, isn't it? 11 against 6, so it's not quite, it's like 1.5 to 1, isn't it? Whereas, well, this here would be 4 against 2, 4 against 3, 4 against 4, so that would be 1 to 1. So the odds are slightly better considering this one. So, like I say, I think it's 1.5 to 1. Great, probably greater than 1.5 to 1. Not quite 2 to 1. Okay, so let's have a dice roll. Oh, and that's one thing came up. Like I say, I've only read through the German solo rules for Kharkov, which is similar to what we're playing just now. It's the Germans defending and the Russians coming through. So it's similar kind of... it's similar to this game, similar to the Allied solo game that we're playing here. The attack determination is not a dice roll. It checks a lot of different... takes a lot of things into consideration, and there's no dice roll, which I think is probably quite good. That's been kind of whittled down a bit to sort of try and decide rather than the roll of a dice, you know. Okay, so do we have any modifiers? Normally good card. Attackers include elite, and the defenders have got elite as well. Sport card shows there's reinforced battle. I don't think so. Don't think even the Fury Brigade, because it's 4 for him to move into there, isn't it? So you can't come and support. There's an infantry unit on here, sorry, just 1, 2, yeah, you can't quite reach as well. No, don't think reinforced battle is applicable then in this, for this consideration. So no modifiers at all then. So 1.5 to 1. Roll the 4. Cancel with less than 2 to 1 or only defend our armour. So it definitely is less than 2 to 1, isn't it? Let me just double check again. 3, 6, 10, 11. None of that coming across all over, so a river. 11 against 5, which would be 2 to 1, but he gets a +1 for being adjacent to supplied allied unit. So that's 11 against 6. So it is less than 2 to 1. Yeah. Okay, so no combat there. So moving on, what's the next unit to consider would be the Fury Brigade, I think. He's unit 7. So he's 5 against 3. Oh, but these guys come in at 2. Yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, this could be a better one. So this is the lead unit now, but these guys, they weren't involved in an attack, so they can still support this consideration. So that's 11 against 3. Again, a +1 for being adjacent to supplied allied unit. So 11 against 4. So that's 2 to 1. Yeah, that's 2 to 1 odds. Should have left that there. Right, is reinforced battle applicable this time? Maybe. No, again, this unit moving out and in would be... Oh, hang on. No, I can't go in there, so you'd have to go 4 into there. Nah, he's not got the movement to do it. Hang on though, these guys have moved. Nah, these guys have moved, Grant. You can't reinforce with a unit that's already moved. And even if these guys were movement considered complete, well, we've found that out, that they do get tilted. They can't move anymore. They might be able to attack. So yeah, so reinforced battle's not in it. So it's 2 to 1 odds. No modifiers. I can't see that. It's way up the top of the map. Oh, it's a 2. You see it? Have you got it? It's a 2 anyway, so it's quite possible this one. No modifiers. Cancel if less than 1.5 to 1, or a defender in a non-VP town. Well, he's not in a non-VP town. So we're going to have ourselves a combat here, I think. Right. Okay, so having an attack here, the Fuhrer Brigade being the lead unit, and these two guys supporting. So like I say, at the moment it's 11 to, well, it's now 11 to 3 officially. So that's 3 to 1 odds. We're still going to draw a card for them. So let's draw a combat tactic. Okay, well that's reinforced battle. So what was that? I was wondering before about what the fuel issues would have been on these guys, but mind you, should be a division card for the Wehr and the 2nd Panzer as well. That fuel issues with 23rd. Obviously, we're not looking at that at the minute because it's not drawn for. This has just been drawn for a combat tactic. Yeah, so reinforced battle. Well, that's the same as what we've got in the sport card box. But I don't think anything can reinforce here. No, there's nothing can reinforce this battle, so it's only going to give them an extra chip pool. So we've got 3 units, 1 for elites, 4, 1 for the reinforced battles, 5. It's not too bad actually, 3 to 1 odds. It's an elite infantry, but it is just infantry. So now we do have the option to play combat tactics, so let me have a wee think about that.